Hi everyone, Vanessa Hogle here. I thought I would do a quick video blog. Something that I was talking to a coworker about today, and it just kind of hit me. I said, what the hell, might as well. Um, I wanted to talk about ghosts, spirits, spookies, whatever you want to call them, and the fact that they're regional. Okay? I mean, I know it sounds a little strange. Sorry, trying to figure out what the hell to do with this. I know it sounds a little strange, but I have noticed over the last 2 years that depending on where I go, whether it's England, Scotland, Virginia, New Orleans, Staten Island, New York, New Jersey, um, here in Oklahoma, uh, all different kinds of places, I have found that it's different how they behave. Granted, time frame has something to do with that, but it's kind of like Chinese food. You go one place, it's one thing. You go another place, it's another. As far as states go, we all know that. Like here in Oklahoma, you can get sesame chicken, you can't get lemon chicken, at least not the good stuff. But in Kansas, you can get lemon chicken, and it's the bomb. Okay, so it's just kind of like that. It's a little bit different, but it's something that I noticed, and I really noticed the difference when I was in Staten Island, and the fact that it seemed to be two different types of spirits. And I'm sure there's more, but it was the ones that wanted to talk to you. They had something to say. And then it was the whole other group that it was very hush hush. Like we don't talk. You're not part of the game. We don't talk to you. We don't want you talking to them either. It was very not just the living people there were secretive, but the spirits were too. And I thought that was very interesting because it's not something you ever hear anyone speak about, but it really is that way. There's changes in demeanor. There's changes in vernacular. There are different ways that they will attempt to communicate with you. Some are more forceful, some aren't. It just depends on what their lot was in life and where they were at based on their cultural setting. And like in Europe, in England and Scotland, it is almost a class thing, where depending on what class they were in life dictates how they talk to you, and how they view you. In Virginia, with it being just soaked with Civil War blood and Revolutionary War blood, there's many, many, many soldiers, and they seem to follow a chain of command. Now, granted, at one point in time, they just all rushed up to me. But once I said, hey, you've got to chill for just a minute, it was almost like they got in line and waited their turn, that chain of command. In Staten Island, it was like Gray and I were talking about last night when we were watching the movie. It was very Goodfellas-ish. Now again, I ain't saying there's a bunch of gangsters buried there, but walks like a duck and talks like a duck. Odds are it's a duck. Okay, but there's a lot of spirits there that are very aware that you're not like them. You're beneath them, really, in their viewpoint, and they really didn't want you doing anything. It's just the way it is. But then there were the others that did and absolutely wanted to communicate because they didn't have anything to do with that life. I realize that sounds very movie-esque, and I get that, but it's not. It's what you deal with, and this isn't something I've really heard anyone talk about, and I thought it was important because it affects the way that you investigate. You have to think of it as if you were deceased and somebody from 4,000 miles away was coming to investigate you, or however many miles away, it doesn't really matter, but they're not of your region, and they were coming to investigate you. How would you feel if they didn't know what your culture was like, or what your upbringing was like, what it was like in your area, you wouldn't be able to relate to them and they wouldn't be able to relate to you. So for anyone getting out there and wanting to investigate in multiple different places, I highly recommend that you understand where you're going, study where you're going, study the people, study the different time frames, if at all possible, and give yourself that advantage. I'm pretty lucky. You know, I've been a lot of places, and I get a lot of interaction. I'm blessed or cursed, depending on how you look at it, in that way. And I I can honestly say, and after being in the Horsefly Chronicles house, I can absolutely say, I can honestly say that I believe I get that much interaction because they know why I'm there. They know what my intentions are and that they're respectable. I don't expect any presence, person, spirit, ghost, spooky, whatever you call it. I don't expect any of them to perform for me. Um, that's not my job. That's not what I'm doing. That's not their job. That's not what they should be asked to do. It's about communication, and you can only have proper communication if you have mutual understanding. And if you don't take the time to learn about the area you're going to, you could miss something. It could be something pretty fucking important. So I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. Just keep in mind, just like all of us living are different today, so are those who passed. They take their cultural mannerisms with them when they pass. And if you really want to communicate with them, you better understand those. So, okay, I got the finger on the pause button. I am going to go ahead and let y'all go. Keeping it short and sweet. I love y'all.